Hey team, it's Mr. Munro here to talk about AO5 substituting into formulae. So, before we talk about that, let's talk about what that AO actually means. So, when we're dealing with formulae, we're talking about a mathematical relationship described in an equation. For example, this here, y equals 3x plus 2. And when we talk about substituting, we're talking about replacing an unknown with a known value. Think substituting in football game, replacing another player, or a substitute teacher, a teacher who's coming to replace your teacher for the day. So what we're doing, actually let's just jump into an example and you'll see exactly what we're talking about. So in this first example, we're dealing with the formula y equals 3x plus 2. And I'm substituting that unknown value, that x, with 5. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rewrite that formula with a 5 instead of an x. So let's give this a shot. So y equals 3. I'm going to put 5 in brackets so we don't confuse it with 35. Plus 2. Going to go through, answer that simple multiplication question. Of course, we remember that a number right next to another one in brackets means being to be multiplied by. So y equals 5 times 3 plus 2. So let's do the 3 times 5 first. 15 plus 2. I'm going to add that onto there. So y equals 17. So we've substituted the x with a new value, with a value 5. And now, as a result of that, y we can solve. We can figure out what that is. So y equals 17. Let's try another example. Some of you may have noticed already that the next formula we're using is one way to write the formula for the area of a triangle, base times height divided by 2, or half base times height. So I'm going to replace b with 4. I'm going to replace h with 7. I'm substituting into that formula. So a is now going to be 4 times 7 divided by 2. So 4 times 7 is 28. Let's replace that one there. That's now 28, which means a equals 14. There we go. So all we're doing is we're just replacing a particular value, a particular unknown with a known value now. So in that case, it was b and h with 4 and 7. Let's have a look at the next one. So I'm trying to find the value of v, and I've been told what a and d is in this case, or I know what I'm substituting in for a and d. A is going to be 20. D is going to be 12. And some of you might have also noticed with this one, we're dealing with the volume of a pyramid in this case, where A is the base area of that pyramid or cone, and D is the height or the depth. So let's substitute into this formula. So 1/3 times 20 for A and 12 for D. Now, if you can hear a little clack, clack, clacking going on in the background, that'll be my calculator. So 20 times 12, and divide that by 3, because 1/3 is the same as dividing by 3. So V equals 80. Nice and simple. The last one I'm going to do, you may have also noticed this one is another one from geometry as well. Area equals pi r squared. Pi, of course, being the mathematical constant that we get from our circles. Let's go through and substitute in. Now, I'm going to use the value of pi on my calculator, but a lot of you will know that pi is approximately 3.14 times r squared, which is now going to be 5 squared. So I'm dealing with pi times 25 times pi. Oh, calculator decided it wants to throw a little hissy fit. 3.14 times 25 equals approximately, now I was dealing with centimeters, so it now needs to be centimeters squared. So that is substituting into a formula. Like I said, all we're doing is replacing an unknown with a now known value. So this is an opportunity now. It's just the time for you guys to go through and attempt to answer some of these questions on your own to test the knowledge that you've hopefully just obtained and try to solidify that knowledge. So in the first formula, we're trying to find the value of z, and the formula is z equals 3y plus 3a. A is 4 and y is 7. And in the next one, we're dealing with x equals kb squared. Remember, b squared means b times b. So in this case, the value of b is 4, and the value of k is 8. So I'll give you a chance now to pause this video to attempt to answer this question on your own. Off you go. All right, we're back. Let's give this thing a shot. Let's see how we go. I'm going to write these down as we go along. Okay, so 3 times 7 for the value of y, 3 times 4 for the value of a. Let's go through and solve those. That's 21. That is 12, which means the value of z in this case is 33. He says hopefully, no, he says confidently. Hopefully you're able to get that. And let's go through and try the next one. Okay, value of k is 8. And I'm going to put this in brackets to keep this separate. That is 4 squared. So 4 squared is 16. So 4 squared times 16. 8 times 16 is 128. So in this case, x is 128. Hopefully you were able to get that first time around. If you weren't, go back, review my steps, maybe go back and review the stuff that's up here. You could always have a talk to someone else in the class, get them to try a couple of examples with you or discuss it. Or you could always come and have a talk to me about it as well. That was AO5, that's substituting into formulae. Like I said, a really useful skill to have. Not only incredibly handy for algebra, but also something that's used in other areas of maths, like geometry, measurement, but also something that's used in a number of other subjects like physics and science. So a really useful skill to have. So that's AO5, substituting into formulae. Well done. See you again soon.